All right, we are on to Groundwork 1C, Random.choice and list. So before we start, we're just going to save this empty file as Groundwork 1C. Okay, so we have that all saved up. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to do something new. First thing that we need to do is write these words, import random. Um, I'll explain what that is in a moment. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to define a new variable, and we'll call it, I don't know, we'll call it, say, responses. Okay, equals, so you recall whenever we want to put something in my variable or my box, I have to put the name of the box. In this case, I've named it responses, and then I have to put it equals, and that is what this is called, the assignment operator. In this case, I'm going to make a list. To make a list, I need square brackets. Okay, so there's my open and close square brackets, and inside my square brackets, I'm going to put a few responses. So let's say wonderful in quotation marks, comma, splendid, comma, beautiful. Okay, so let's just say it's those three things. Make sure that you get all of the punctuation and stuff correct. These things are square brackets, not round brackets. You need quotation marks after each thing. Okay, and you need commas in between. Okay, so now that we have our list defined, or our variable, so this is a list, right? Three things in my list. What I can do is I can choose one of these things to print. And so I'm going to do my regular print. And in this case, I'm going to print this. Random.choice responses. Okay, what's happening here? Well, this thing, random.choice, means that I'm telling the computer to choose one of these things randomly. Maybe this one, maybe this one, maybe this one. And then what is this thing? Well, this is just the name of the variable that I'm choosing from. Right? So that's why I have this here. Look at this situation here. I have, two round brackets opening up, and that's why I need two round brackets here closing. And so we have like the double bracket situation. Let's just run that and see what happens. And you can see it printed wonderful, which is indeed one of the random things in my list. Let's run it again, see if it chooses a different one. It chose wonderful again. Okay, let's try that again. Aha, this time it chose a different one. It chose beautiful. Oops. Wait, let's run it again. Wonderful, beautiful, wonderful, beautiful, beautiful, splendid. Okay, so you can see that it's kind of randomly choosing whichever one. Okay, so this is a useful thing. What I can also do is I can choose. I can actually make another variable with different, kind of phrases in here. For, let's call it, say, bad responses. Okay, square brackets. That is awful. So in this case, I have three words. That's okay, because it's just whatever is inside the quotation marks. So it's going to take all of that as one thing. Okay, next one will be, I don't know, terrible. And the next one will be, say, dreadful. Okay. Make sure I have all my punctuations, all my quotation marks. If you make a mistake on this punctuation stuff, that's what really gets you sometimes. Okay, so great. Okay, so let's run that again, and look, it printed wonderful again. What happened? I thought it was going to print one of these. Well, I'll tell you what happened. I'm printing a random choice of responses. What's in the variable responses? These. So how am I going to get it to print this? What's something from here? Well, I'm going to change what's in here to not be look in responses, but to look in bad responses. All right. Let's see what happens here. Terrible. Terrible. That is awful. You can see it printed all three words because all three words were inside the quotation marks. Okay? And so you can see that you can kind of do that. All right, so that should give you an idea of how these things work. Well, let's just do one more thing here. Let's do numbers, and let's make another list, but this time let's say 4, 6, 9. Okay, and let's just do numbers, and I'll just show you that it doesn't have to be these kind of strings. It can actually be numbers. Anything will work. 4, 9, 6, 4, 4, 9, and so on. Okay, so that's all. Oh, I never did explain what import random was. Well, what's happening is this random.choice will not work unless you have import random, because this random.choice, even though it's super useful for us, is not included by default in Python. So to include the random.choice, we have to do import random, and that imports the library into Python so that we can then use this function, which is, again, super useful. All right, that's all for this video. Hopefully you are following along, and we'll see you in the next one.